where you can't have any ideas. You have to keep your mind empty. Get everything real still, like you was a little kid again in the grandmother's backyard in the country, where there's nothing going on at night, no sound, nothing, just a darkness, and you're standing there in the backyard and you feel something like a breeze or maybe somebody breathing on your back in the small of your back, and you don't know who it is, and then it starts to go up your spine, and then it starts to turn into life. Everything inside you starts to turn into light, and then you start to speak out, maybe even sing a bit, it all comes out of you right there in the stillness of the darkness, It's yours, but it ain't yours. It's somebody else breathing life into you, and that's the way that it works, You got to be a little humble on that one, You just kind of carrying the ball in the darkness is what you're doing, and you got to do a good job too, don't you? You got to let it come out the way you want to come out. One word after the next one, Don't matter, you don't know what it means. Don't matter at all. As long as it feel right, You got to feel right. If it don't feel right, then what the hell are you doing standing in the backyard, That come to you, that breath in the back of your mind that start to sing through you. You got to let it sing like you want to, It changed your life, baby. Change your life, you know what I'm talking to you about, Don't be acting so stupid on me. Remember, no ideas.
You could ask me what memory is, and I could give you 100 answers. Or I could tell you nothing. What is there to say anyway? Could I say it's like a large, old city with its twisted parks? I could tell you that. That's what memory is like. Or I could tell you it's a house somewhere or an apartment in an old building. You know the stairs and you think you know the door. I could tell you all of that. But it would be a lie. Memory is nothing except it calls us in. It chooses the door. And we have to follow. And then, somehow, it forms itself out of nothing. Just some hunger pushing it forward. And suddenly, there's only light in the story that you're handing to someone who's looking at you, and they're laughing or crying, or maybe even they're confused, just to see how you came up with something from nothing. It was just something you remembered, you said, and I wanted to tell you about it. Every time I do that, the story changes. It's not like these books where the story stays the same. Memory isn't like that. It isn't like an old apartment in an old house in an old city around these old twisted parks. It's just like light, like what's in front of you right now, but a little dimmer, and it keeps going back and back and back and back and back. They're just dimmer versions of the present. You can barely see them, the little patches of this or that, that feeling that your Aunt Margaret gave you, or the dark shadow on your mother's face. Everything changes. Memory is just back there. Distant, distant, distant. Distant stars in a dark sky. What is solid anymore but these little scenes, smells, this touches of something, and then something like hunger or desire starts to go back and back, and suddenly everything takes blossom from the dark, dark star in the distant heavens. Like this story again. I keep trying to tell you that it comes from nothing. Just stars in a vast heaven that somehow somebody put there. And you can't do anything about it, ever. And don't you ever forget that either. Don't you ever forget that either.
Well, you can't have any ideas. You have to keep your mind empty. Get everything real still, like you was a little kid again in your grandmother's backyard in the country, where there's nothing going on at night, no sound, nothing, just a darkness, and you're standing there in the backyard